Hi guys, this is Mrs. Thomas. Today we are going to be talking about characters in books and how they respond to different events that are happening around them. I'm going to read two books to you. You should have in front of you this sheet, and it is a front and a back, and you can go ahead and put your name right here where it says name. And then it says major events and responses, book title. And remember, you can pause this video at any time that you want to pause it to have more time to write. Or if you want to back it up to hear what I said, you can always restart it or back it up a little bit. So for book title, for our first book, this is what you're going to fill in the blank. Jabari Jumps. So the name of our first book is Jabari Jumps. This is going to be by Gia Cornwall. So feel free to pause here if you need to copy down that title. Okay, I'm going to read you the book. Then we'll go to this sheet. And on this sheet, I want you to think about, as I read the book, who is the main character of the book? And what's the major event that's going to happen in this book? And what's the response going to be from that character? We'll kind of talk through it as we go. Let's look at the front cover. There's Jabari. Think about, he's on this diving board, right? Look at him. Look at his body language. Think about how you think Jabari is feeling right now at this moment of this picture. Do you think he feels confident and really like sure of himself? Or do you think he's feeling a little bit scared and hesitant? Think about that. All right, so let's get started. This is Jabari Jumps by Gia Cornwall. I'm really jumping off the diving board today, Jabari told his dad. Really? Said his dad. The diving board was high and maybe a little scary, but Jabari had finished his swimming lessons and passed his swim test, and now he was ready to jump. I'm a great jumper, said Jabari, so I'm not scared at all. Jabari watched the other kids climb the long ladder. They walked all the way out to the end of the board, as big as tiny bugs. Then they stood on the edge, spread out their arms, bent their knees, and sprang up, up, up. And then they dove down, down, down. Splash. Looks easy, Jabari said. But when his dad squeezed his hand, Jabari squeezed back. Jabari stood at the bottom of the ladder and he looked up. You can go before me if you want, he told the other kid behind him. I need to think about what special jump I'm going to do. Jabari thought and thought. Jabari started to climb up and up. This ladder's very tall, he thought. Are you okay? Called his dad. I'm just a little tired, said Jabari. Well, maybe you should climb back down and take a tiny rest, said his dad. A tiny rest sounded like a good idea. When he got to the bottom, Jabari remembered something. I forgot to do my stretches, he told his dad. Stretching is very important, he told his dad said. I think tomorrow might be a better day for jumping, Jabari said, and they looked up at the diving board together. It's okay to feel a little scared, said his dad. Sometimes I feel a little scared. I take a deep breath and tell myself I'm ready. And you know what? Sometimes it stops feeling scary and feels like a little surprise. Jabari loved surprises. Jabari took a deep breath and felt his body fill from the ends of his hair right down to the tips of his toes. Jabari looked up. He began to climb up and up and up and up until he got to the top. Jabari stood up straight. He walked all the way out to the end of the board. His toes curled around the end. I love this picture. So there's his feet. Look, he's looking down. Look, there's his dad and his sister waiting for him. Look how tiny they look. Jabari looked out as far as he could see. He felt like he was ready. I love surprises, he whispered. Look at all the people. Here's his dad and his sister. He's so high. What would you be feeling right now if you were Jabari standing there? How would you be feeling? Make a prediction. Do you think he's going to jump? Or do you think he's going to go back down the ladder again? Let's find out. He took a deep breath and spread his arms and bent his knees, and then he sprang up off the board, flying. Jabari hit the water with a splash. Down, down, down he went, and then back up. Whoosh. Jabari, you did it, said his dad. I did it, said Jabari. I'm a great jumper. And you know what? What? Said his dad. Surprise, double backflip is next. All right, so that was Jabari jumps. So now get your sheet and your pencil. You can pause the video if you would like now. And let's fill in the main character's name. We should know that from the title of the book. Jabari jumps. Jabari is our main character. What was the major event going on in this book? What was his challenge? What was he trying to overcome? He was trying to get his courage up to, that's what you can write in here. If you don't know how to spell it, you can draw a picture of what he was trying to do. And then what was his response? What was Jabari's response? Did he do that? Did he overcome his failure? Was he successful? And again, you can write it out or you can draw a picture. All right, you can pause the video if you need more time. I'm going to go on to the next one. So now you should turn your sheet over and you're going to have this on the other side again. So for the book title on the back of the sheet, you're going to write for the title, Miles McHale, Tattletale. So again, you can pause it here if you need to know how to spell the title and put it in that blank. All right, I'm going to go on, but feel free to pause the video if you're needing more time to write. This is written by Christine Jones, and the art is by Alina Ellis. Miles McHale was smart. He was funny. He was sweet. But Miles McHale was also a tattletale. And not just a 1 or 2 times a day tattler. We're talking about constant tattling all day long. Frank won't stop staring at me. Hattie is going too fast. That boy is picking his nose. Sometimes the tattling didn't even stop at bedtime. Thomas isn't using his blanket. The tattling was a problem at home, but it was a big problem at school. Elsa's sharpening her pencil. Nolan is tying his shoe. Kil is scratching his arm. Think about how the other kids feel with Miles tattling. And Miles wasn't the only tattler, but he was the worst one. One day, Mrs. Snitcher started the tattle battle. Okay, class, Mrs. Snitcher said. The rules are simple. 2 teams, 1 week, no tattling. Whichever team has the fewest number of tattles gets an extra recess on Friday. Ooh, this sounds like a hard challenge. Think about if you think Miles's team is going to win. Can they have the least amount? When the teams were assigned, Miles didn't stop tattling. Adeline is being too loud. Lola won't stop clapping. Landon is standing on 1 foot. His team was not impressed. Look at their faces. They don't look very happy with Miles and his tattling. Miles, hold on a minute, Mrs. Snitcher said. Before we start, let's recite the Tattle Battle Pledge. So here's the pledge. If a friend is sick, hurt, or in harm's way, then telling someone is okay. All right, let's think about that. If a friend is sick, hurt, or in harm's way, then telling someone is okay. And with that, the tattle battle officially began. Miles knew the rules, and he didn't want to let his team down. But sometimes it was so hard to know what tattling and what wasn't. Mrs. Snitcher, Ellie's chewing on her pencil. Is she sick, hurt, or in danger? Mrs. Snitcher said. Well, she could choke on it, Miles replied. True, said Mrs. Snitcher, but not likely. Okay, Miles said. I got it. Mrs. Snitcher, Emma isn't wearing socks. Is she sick, hurt, or in danger? Mrs. Snitcher asked. Well, she might catch a cold, Miles said. Maybe, but that's not likely, said Mrs. Snitcher. Okay, Miles said. Got it. But he didn't really get it. He tried hard, but Miles kept letting his team down. By the end of the week, his team was losing, and he was alone. He was alone at recess. He was alone at lunch, and he was alone on his walk home. Nobody wanted to talk to him, especially his teammates. His team was losing the tattle battle, and it was all his fault. That's it, he said to himself. No more tattling ever. Make a prediction. Do you think Miles is going to be able to do that? No more tattling? That night, Miles was playing in his room when he heard a loud noise in the kitchen. Hattie, what happened? Miles asked. I wanted another cookie, his sister said. But when I climbed on the counter, I slipped. Oh, can't get a hold of my page. Sorry, guys. Miles had a choice to make. Should he tell his mom or not? He didn't want to be a tattletale, but Hattie was hurt. Do you think he should tell? Miles remembered the Tattle Battle pledge. If a friend is sick, hurt, or in harm's way, then telling someone is okay. So he should tell, right? Because she's hurt. That's it. I'm not tattling. I'm telling, and that's okay. The next day, the class recited the Tattle Battle Pledge right after the first bell. If a friend is sick, hurt, or in harm's way, then telling someone is okay. But at the end of the pledge, Miles McHale went on. Unless it's sickness, danger, or bullying I see, I will mind my own business and worry about me. Miles McHale, that is a wonderful addition to our pledge, said Mrs. Snitcher. I will take away 3 tattle points for your team. Miles beamed with pride. His team still lost the tattle battle, but that was okay. He apologized to his friends and won them back. After that day, Miles McHale never tattled again. In fact, nobody ever tattled again. Life was perfect. The end. Well, not quite, but I did tattle a lot less, and so did my friends. And that's the Tattle Battle Pledge. Okay, friends. So if you need to pause the video, you can, or back it up. You're going to go to your other side of your sheet. You should have the book title already filled in. The book title, remember, is Miles McHale, Tattletale. So pause it if you need to see how to spell it. And then for our main character, we all should be able to figure out who our main character is about because he's in the title. So put the character's name. What was the major event? What was going on with him? And if you can't write it out, feel free to draw a picture. And then in the last square, put his response. What was the response to his problem? Was he able to overcome it? Was he able to change? Or did he keep doing the same thing over and over? So fill out your sheet. All right, so you should have both sides of your sheet filled out, and you got to hear 2 great read alouds today, and you should check out your books today. So I hope you guys have a great week. And I hope that you learned something about these two characters and the choices they had to make and how they were able to respond to different events happening in their lives.